Alright, I'm back. It's been, I'm not sure, a week, I guess, something like that. And let's have a look here. All these are done, all these components. So that's up right here. There's the Charon, and there's the other components, and then that's another component for the Raya. But just before I do that, I'm going to show you those contracts that I put up, and I just wanted you to see what happened with the contracts. So if you remember from the last, I don't know, maybe it was 10 minutes ago in this video, I had put up the max amount of contracts I could for one person in this game, which is 21. As you can see now, I am able to put up 17. So what does that mean? That means 17 sold over this past week. And I thought I would show you this little thing too. What the heck is this? It requires my attention. What could that be? So if we go over here to my contracts, it says here that a Drake has expired. So the maximum time for contracts is 2 weeks. So the 2 weeks went and it didn't sell. So what would that mean to me? It would suggest that either people stopped buying Drakes, which is not likely, or the volumes could have went down in terms of sales. But likely the price was too high and there was too many competitors that underbid me. So that's okay. I'll just delete the contract and I get the item back. So the Drake blueprint will just pop back into the Jita asset, whatever. Now I'm not in the Forge region, and that's different for contracts, because with contracts you can put up contracts and delete contracts and all that kind of stuff and buy contracts when you're not in the region. Unlike the market, you have to be in the region. So there's a difference between market and contract. So here's what's left of those 21 I put up. This is what's left, these three right here. So there's 2 Drakes left and Tempest left, all at 5 days. And then they'll expire, and then I'll have to delete those if they don't sell. So I could put up 18 more right now, and I'm not going to do that because you've seen me do that, and you've seen how I do those. So I'm just going to go back to finishing up the Raya thing here. So I'm going to get these things out. So all these pieces and the Charon up to there, and then deliver them. So all those will be coming back now. And then we get to see whether I've got all the stuff ready for the Raya. So I'll just show you that again, what's in here. So there's all the components. The jump drives I did buy from Jita. I could have made them. I do have a blueprint for making jump drives, but I have it down where I make carriers, although I haven't made carriers in a while. There's the Charon that just came out. Construction blocks I already bought. Same with the Morphite, I bought that. Those things I just made as well. So I should be able to just build it right now. So there's the Raya. Go manufacture. And then I'll make it right here. For those, another thing, you can build T2 carriers at a player orbital structure, a POS. There are modules called assembly arrays that you can actually have orbiting your tower, and you can build things there. The way you have to do it, though, is you have to bring all the materials there. So I would have to put all these things in the assembly array that would be out orbiting my tower, floating, like those labs you saw before. I would have to put all these materials inside the assembly array, and then I could build it. And what I would do is I would have the blueprint in the office. I couldn't have it here. Right now the blueprint is in my personal assets, but to use a POS, you have to use it from a corporation. I want to say perspective, but it's sort of like that. A corporation in here, like in the storage. So I would have to put the blueprint in there and use it from that location, and then it would use the materials in the assembly array. So that's set up for building it just in here. One run, and everything looks like it checks out. Now it says here it's going to take 24 days. That's a long time. But luckily, so I'm going to hit accept. So all those things are going to get eaten now. So all those pieces are eaten from down here. They're all gone, and the Morphite's gone, all that kind of stuff. This blueprint's gone. And I'll show you it here. There it is, in progress, manufacturing. 24 days, it'll say, if I move that out, see? But I got one ready for you. I've left it here for, well, at least 24 days. And so I will, after 24 days transpires, then this is what you get. It'll say ready, Raya. You click deliver, and then you go to ship hangar, and there it is, brand new Raya. Wow, look at the estimated price. Think I could get that? And so right click on it and go assemble, and then right click on it and go make active, and that means you get into it. There we go. There's the Raya, and as you can see, it looks a little bit different than the Charon because it's got like the camo, army camo stuff, and it doesn't have as much space. It has a lot less space, which about almost a third, or about a third less space, which kind of sucks. But it is jump drivable, which means you can hop with it, hop like 10 systems at a time. But you need someone to put down sino fields for you, which comes out of a frigate, which I kind of mentioned, I don't know, 15 minutes ago in the previous video. Okay, just before I take this thing to Jita and put it up, and that'll be the end of the video, I also have some blueprints done from copying. Right here, all these things. So I'm going to grab them too and put them inside the Raya here, and then I'm going to take that to Jita. So I'll just do that now. I'll hit deliver. There we go. And so now the copies are in the labs out in space, but the BPOs, the originals, which I used to copy, those are in my office, which will be in this station. And I don't know if it will show it yet in the assets of the corporation, but they might. Like if I go into here. Oh yeah, they're back. Okay. So what I normally do is I put up the I certainly put these up. I copy the freighters every time because they're worth quite a bit of money to copy. So I always put them up. Here's a little, I think I've done this before. I think I've shown you how to copy stuff in the lab tutorials. I must have done this already. And then I'll put up the, where's the Providence? There it is. Put him up. Oops, oops. Oh, whoops, not manufacturing. No wonder it wasn't working. Yeah, they take 27 days. One run, one copy is the max you can do for those. The max is under 30 days. Alrighty, so, okay, I'm going to grab these if I'm close enough. I think 3,000 meters is close enough. So they should be... Oh, I just ran out of range here. So I'll have to turn this thing around. I hope this thing isn't going to... These things are really slow. That's why you don't want to be caught with one of these in low sec, unless you're like me and you risk it once in a while. These things are enormous and slow. Okay. Oh, whoops, that's something I wanted to do. Okay, so here's some Dominixes. I'm going to put in my Raya. Okay. And then there should be more. All these ones I'll put in. And then these ones. There's the freighters. Those are worth about 100 each, 100 mil. Funny, even in this game there is market fluctuation. Those obelisk blueprints, I'll show you in a second here. Obelisk is a Galente freighter. Okay, done. And then I'm going to get warping to here on my way to Jita. Okay, notice the obelisk Galente freighters. I would say about, geez, maybe 6 months ago. Maybe 6 months ago, they were down, like there was just a huge oversupply of them, and they were going for maybe 50, 60 mil on contract, which sucks. That's really low. I should have bought them. I should have bought them up because now they're back to normal price, about 100, 110. So that would have been a good buying opportunity. So even in this game, like if you've ever considered stocks in the real world, even in this game, there's that kind of fluctuation going. when new products come out, like the Orca, when the Orca came out, or any new ships, like those new battle cruisers, when they come out, the price for them, like the first 12 hours, the price for them is huge because the supply is so limited. Who has grabbed the BPO and quickly made one, right? That would have been few people. And then who would have taken that one ship and hauled it to Jita and put it up for sale? Few people. A lot less than there would have been people trying to buy it. So that makes the price humongous. But of course, over time, as more and more people are making more of them and making them like crazy, then eventually, and the demand starts going down because people now have one, then the price starts becoming the normal price, which is usually about 10% or more above the mineral cost. That is about the normal price for ships. Sometimes it's a lot more, like Raya's, the profit margins is pretty huge because the amount of people that can make it are few. You need a lot of capital to start making one of these kinds of ships. And so that really kills the market. Especially another reason is all the skills you need to make them. So that really lowers the market. But of course, the demand for Rayas is not humongous. The demand for Raya is not the same as the demand for even Drakes, or not even Drakes, because Drakes the demand is high. But take some crappy ship like a Badger Mark 1 or something. The demand for those is a lot more than Raya's, but they sell pretty well. I imagine I'll sell this thing in usually it takes 2 or 3 days. If I log in and make sure that the Raya is maybe log in like once a day or something, or not even. Sometimes I haven't bothered, and they still sell. And just to make sure that it's on the lowest price, and then it'll sell. But this is what I usually do. When I build a Raya, then I'll grab a bunch of other stuff to haul to Jita and just sell it. And alright, I will just pause the video, and then when I'm in Jita, I'll show you me putting it up for sale. Alright, we're in Jita, but not quite the station. We're just about to warp there. I figured I'd say a couple more things before I get into Jita. If you're starting out in this game, do not look at local chat in Jita. Look at it right here. It is 99% scams. There's people that put up these links, and they actually are they're not what you're looking for. Like, for example, this one here. I'll just show you one. This one here is some guy selling, hey, here, have a Plex for 370 mil, right? But have a look at the contract very carefully. It says here, you will get a Plex, as he says, but you will pay him 370 mil, and you will also pay him a Plex. So you are getting nothing. You are only getting, you're only paying him 370 mil, and these Plexes just get switched. He takes one of yours and you take his. So that is ridiculous, right? You could just take any of these, and it's just nonsense. Like people selling tritanium really cheap or something, and it's all garbage. So I don't even look at local. I am surprised how long local in Jita, local channel, local chat. I'm surprised how long there have been people in here trying to scam, because you would think with enough intelligent people out there, enough experienced e-players, that just no one reads local anymore, and then it should just be a ghost town. But no, every minute of every day, unless it's downtime, there are idiots in here spamming about stupid stuff. They're probably bots. I don't know why the company just doesn't ban them. I imagine they're bots. They're probably not sitting there. But there is supposed to be, I want to say, like, bots are supposed to be illegal in the game, especially if you're mining and you're but for some reason scamming is okay, I guess. Bot scamming is okay. Another thing I wanted to say is that one thing that's really neat about this game is there actually is people on staff, or at least one person on staff, who does economic analysis of the prices in this game. So what they'll do, if you go on YouTube and look up like convention, EVE Online convention for 2012 or whatever, and it'll show, there'll be like a video on economic forecasts or whatever, and there'll be some guy up there talking about the prices on EVE Online. Like, for example, he'll talk every time. I think there's maybe 2 of them up now. I think he's done it twice. Whoops. He'll talk about titanium, which is the main mineral in the game, the bread of EVE Online. And he'll look at the prices, and he'll go look at this, and I only get a year, but he can do more than a year. And he can talk about trends, and oh, look at that, it's gone way up. Look at the trite price, and oh, look, it's come down. Now I wonder why. It seems to be stable at about 6, and he'll talk about why he thinks that. Maybe the company did something, or maybe, I don't know, whatever, right? But this huge trend here over let's see here, August to February, about 6 months. This trend, you talk about that, and it's really interesting. The volumes are down here, of course. So, and also ship prices and how many ships are destroyed in a year and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of neat. Talks about sinks in the game because the currency keeps getting inflated, right? I don't want to get into that, but there's all kinds of interesting stuff about how the currency doesn't just inflate into craziness in terms of like it costs like $1 trillion ISK to buy one battle cruiser or something. The only way that happens is if the money can be destroyed somehow. But anyways, I don't want to get into that for this video. Okay, so then we're going to sell this Raya now. Close this crap down. Get the stuff out of the way. So I'm going to move this stuff out. Although I don't have to. I could repackage the ship, and it would just dump everything out in the item hanger anyways. I'm going to repackage it. You can't sell a ship if it's like this. You have to repackage it so it looks like an item with a quantity. So I need a shuttle. Or I guess I'll just take this thing. Get into this weird ship that I got from a... I don't know if it was like some New Year's promotion or something. I don't know. They just gifted. They gifted me that ship. I don't know what it is. Alright, so there's the Raya. So we're going to do repackage. Yes. So all the repackaging does, it turns it into an item. And it gets rid of all the rigs. If there's any rigs on it, it gets destroyed. If there's any modules fitted in it, it gets popped out into your item hanger. If there's anything in the cargo, it gets popped out. Now it's sellable because it's an item. If there's any damage on the ship, for example, you have to repair it before you can repackage it. So then I'm going to go sell. Okay. And then I'm going to go advanced because I want to put up a buy order. Alright, maybe I'll talk about that for a second here. So let's click on the magnifying glass first to bring up the market. So I still have this window open. There's the sell window. There's the price history, by the way. Okay, here's the market for Rayas. So count how many zeros that is. That's a lot of zeros. It's a lot of placeholders there. That is $1 billion ISK. That's 7 billion. I could sell this thing right now to a buy order, and I would get 7 bill minus taxes, which equals this 6,985 blah blah blah. But I'm not going to do that because I'm going to sell it on I'm going to put up a sell order. Now the reason why I do that is because I would gain what, almost 200 mil if I sell it instead of if I put a sell order up instead of putting in a buy order. But that's not always the case. It may be better off for you to just sell it to a buy order. If the prices are so close together that it's not worth you paying taxes, or I mean it's not worth you, if I put up a sell order, here I'll show you. If I instead want to do a sell order, I got to pay both taxes and a broker fee. If it's not worth paying the broker fee, which I have at the almost lowest at 0.25. If it's not worth paying that broker fee, because I think it might be 1% for some of you, 1.25 maybe even. If it's not worth paying the broker fee, then you would want to just sell it to a buy order. But if it is worth paying the broker fee, then you would make a sell order, and that would go here. And it would sit here and wait to be sold as opposed to being sold immediately. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to put, let's see, I'm just going to undercut the next guy here. 7199 884 276.9. And one quantity, 3 months, yeah. And then all this I have to pay. By the way, I believe the sales tax is only charged if it sells. The broker fee is charged automatically. I believe that is the case. Okay, so here's what I'll get if it sells. So what did I gain? 100 mil or something, 150 mil extra. And then you click sell, and then you click reload, and there's mine right there. Remember I had 0.9, so 0.90, there it is there. So there's mine. Alright, so there you go. That's been the building of a Raya. Please leave any comments, anything that I said that was incorrect, any other videos you want to see. The more EVE online videos I do, the less there is for me to do for the next video. I've done the market, I've done industry, I've done labs, I've done building a Raya, I've done Q&As. I still get your questions, and I suppose my next EVE Online video might be answering some of them, because I do get quite a few questions. Most of your questions could be answered by joining a really good noob corp, which is like EVE Uni, for example. Just look them up. EVE University is what the full name is. Anyone who joins EVE Online, it really, I don't want to say it's mandatory because I don't agree with that, but EVE University, to join that corp, if you want to start out in this game, it's really just common sense, because they're really helpful and they really will launch you into this game, because it is a complicated game. This isn't your log on and go find some rabbits to hack to death. This is not this game whatsoever. Not at all. It's a complicated game, but I think the more complicated games are also more interesting, and there's more things you can get out of them. Alrighty, so I will see you in the next video.